Welcome to the Voice of MPE. In this MPE Talks series, we bring you fresh insights from top industry leaders and payments professionals. My name is Andréa Toucinho. I am Director of Studies, Perspective and Training of a French consulting company called 𝗓𝗨𝗪 Consulting, specialized in payments. And I am also Country Ambassador for France of European Women Payments Network. So today, I have the very good opportunity to receive Teresa Mesquita from the Portuguese payments leader SIBS. So Teresa, good morning. Thank you for your participation. You are a payment leader and you present the Portuguese payments company SIBS. May I ask you to introduce yourself and to present the activities of SIBS in Portugal, please?
Well, first of all, hello, and thank you very much for having me. So my name is Teresa Mesquita. I am at SIBS Group and also chairwoman of the EMPS Association. So I've worked in the payment industries for almost 25 years, mostly focused on the European market up to now. I represent SIBS, a leading European payment technology provider. We're based in Portugal, but beyond our home market, we also operate in Eastern Europe, namely in Poland and in Romania. Each year, we process over 15 billion transactions, and we manage 1 million POS terminals and close to 20,000 ADMs. So SIBS offers a broad range of services both to financial institutions but also to businesses. Our portfolio includes card issuing and acquiring, account-to-account SEPA services, digital payments and e-commerce solutions, including acquiring in some markets. We also manage POS and ATM networks and provide fraud detection and cybersecurity services. So in short, SIBS plays a key role enabling secure, innovative, and efficient payments, both in Portugal but also in other European markets.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Very interesting. So you mentioned the specificities of Portuguese payments market. I will ask you a question about this topic. So Portugal is a very interesting ecosystem with a major success story provided by SIBS called MPE, a wallet service in the country. And we have also some specific uses, for instance, in the ATM. So you mentioned it in your answer. What are the major trends today in the payment users in the country, and what are the main specificities of the Portuguese payments ecosystem in comparison with the other EU countries?
Well, that's a very good question, and I would say that Portugal has a very distinctive payment ecosystem. It's highly innovative and very deeply digital. So SIBS has actually played a key role shaping it over the years. We have a long track record of delivering digitalization in payment solutions. I would say that innovation really sits at the heart of what we do. One of our most iconic innovations is multi-banco payments. It started at ATMs, as you mentioned, many years ago, but it has also evolved in the meantime and expanded to other banking channels. So you can do multi-banco payments also through your internet banking and mobile banking. And it is even used to pay in e-commerce shops, for instance. It's a system that allows bill payments with simple reconciliation and real-time notification for the businesses, which makes it extremely popular both for the users because it's simple, but also for the businesses because it can streamline their processes and back-office processes. So it's been extremely popular, first with utilities, but today, with any kind of business, really, schools, health services, almost every sector in Portugal, it uses it. And we also support very specific use cases like tax payments, toll payments, mobile top-ups. So over the time, Multibanco has really made everyday life for both consumers and businesses much simpler in Portugal. But of course, the other example, and it's very special to us because we're celebrating this week the 10th anniversary of MPE. So it's the most complete mobile payment services in Europe, and it's a truly trusted brand in Portugal. So it already counts with almost 7 million users, which means that over 90% of the bank population in Portugal uses it today. And it continues to grow, with users performing on average more than 130 transactions in the year 2024, and it's actually increasing this year. So 𝗪𝗿 can be used either directly through a mobile banking app or as a standalone app. It covers a very wide range of use cases. So about 1/3 of transactions happen online, so e-commerce payments. 1/3 are actually in-store payments. So you pay at the point of sale with a QR code or NFC. And 1/3 are peer-to-peer, so you transfer money to your friends and family. It's the preferred payment app for e-commerce and in-store payments. And you can pay in-store, as I mentioned, with NFC, with QR codes. But you can use it in-store, but you can use it also in public transport, in e-commerce, and paying taxes and making donations. So it has a very wide range of specific use cases, and much of them are actually local use cases that attend to the local needs of the Portuguese. It has, for e-commerce merchants specifically, it has a very good conversion rate, and that's why it's also very much valued for those businesses. So what we see is that actually when 𝗪𝗿 is available on an online shop, more than 90% of Portuguese consumers will choose 𝗪𝗿. So it has very good conversion rates, low abandonment rates, and one of the lowest fraud rates also in the market. In e-commerce, we also support recurring payments. So 𝗪𝗿, you can attach it to pay subscriptions, for instance, which is of course also very important in the e-commerce space. For in-store payments, I would also mention a feature that we rolled out some months ago. That is what we call the 𝗂𝗂𝗵𝗿, and actually enables paper-free purchases. So you won't have any printed receipts, and you can also integrate with electronic invoicing, so to provide more eco-friendly payments at the point of sale. Finally, I'd just like to also mention we have just launched NFC payments for iOS. So Android platform has already been available for almost the 10 years that 𝗪𝗿 has been in the market. But this summer, we also launched NFC on iOS. And we also plan to, by the end of the year, start rolling out 𝗪𝗿 Verify, which will allow users to associate their national ID card with biometric authentication, further strengthening the app's security. So all of this, I believe, shows that the Portuguese payment ecosystems, led by SIBS, has been at the forefront of innovation and really continues to evolve to meet the high standards of convenience, security, and trust that you need in payments.
Thank you. It's very interesting, and it is true. When you go to Portugal, you see how 𝗪𝗿 is successful in the country, and it is used not just by young people but also by elder people. So it's a very interesting example of mobile wallet success in Europe. Thank you for all these insights. So after these key aspects about Portugal, let's talk about Europe of payments. So today, as you know, Teresa, the issue of European sovereignty in the field of payments is one of the major topics of our ecosystem. And one of the key examples is the development of several initiatives in this field. So as I am based in France, I am very aware of the importance of the project EPI company, the wallet 𝗿𝗏. We have also a very interesting initiative created by Portugal, Spain, and Italy called Europa. And we have also some public initiatives, like, for instance, the project of digital euro that was created by ECB. So my question for you, Teresa, is may I ask you to explain the history of the project Europa and what are its main steps today?
Sure. So we at SIBS, we have always been part of the broader European payment ecosystem. So we're active not only in Portugal, but also have been very deeply engaged in our European cooperation and interoperability initiatives. We are founding member of EMPSA, the European Mobile Payment Association, where we work closely with other European mobile payment providers to develop common standards and promote interoperability across Europe. One of the most exciting developments in this space is actually 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 that you just mentioned. So 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 is a strategic alliance that aims to make peer-to-peer payments interoperable between European countries and also other use cases further down the road. The first phase went live already in May 2025, allowing any MBWay user in Portugal to send and receive money directly from a Bizum user in Spain or a Bancomat user in Italy, simply using the recipient's mobile number. Other major players, including 𝗍𝗆𝗔𝗍𝗍𝗔𝗍 from the Nordics and 𝗏𝗍𝗆 from Poland, are currently already integrating and will plan to have a pilot this year and launch next year. And 𝗍𝗏 from Greece and 𝗏𝗁𝗏 from Bulgaria also plan to join next year. So it's actually expanding quickly. So we believe this is a major step towards creating a truly connected European payments area where users can move money seamlessly, not only with locally, as we do today in many countries, but also across borders. And if actually what we see is that many of the EU countries that represent 96% of the EU population already have local payment solutions in different stages and based on different payment instruments. The key challenge and the opportunity now is really to make these systems work seamlessly together, especially for cross-border payments. And that's what SIBS and MBWay we are trying to do, building interconnected, secure, and truly European payments with our partners from EMPSA and from other regions in Europe.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. And as you mentioned the topic of interoperability, I have another question about 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏. It is about the convergence aspects and more specifically the collaboration with 𝗍𝗶𝗁 company. Since a few months ago, you announced a collaboration between 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 and 𝗍𝗶𝗁. May I ask you to tell us a little bit more about this collaboration, please?
So sure. So 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 and 𝗍𝗶𝗁, we first announced cooperation in June of this year. Mm-hmm. So we have been working over the summer and mainly with a focus more on the technical and standards and overcoming how technically we can connect the solutions. So we have successfully completed this exploratory phase, and the next step is a feasibility study that is ongoing until the end of the year, where we are looking at governance and feasibility, actual economic feasibility of this initiative. So this cooperation actually enables over 120 million users of the participating solutions to offer several use cases based on instant payments, cross-border payments. So we are focused on the three main use cases: send and receive money, so peer-to-peer payments, like 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 has just launched and is currently already operating across 3 countries and expanding. But we are also looking into the person-to-business use case, let's say, which means making purchases both online and in store. So the idea is that consumers and merchants will continue to use their preferred solution with a broader European reach and actually leveraging existing European standards and existing European infrastructures. So the goal that 𝗂𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗏 and 𝗍𝗶𝗁 that we all have, is to make it possible for users to pay across borders with the same simplicity and confidence and the same trust that they have at each respective market, while keeping the local features that make each one of the systems so successful in the countries where they operate. Mm-hmm. So this initiative, as I said, will cover 120 million users in 13 markets, that are already served by the participating solutions. And this is also including both the 3 founding members of Europa, but also 𝗪𝗺𝗵 mobile pay, and we expect that the other solutions joining Europa will probably also be joining.
Okay, very interesting. Defining this balance between local and cross-border approach is a very interesting strategy when we know that in Europe the uses of payments remain very local. So it's an interesting point that you mentioned. Thank you, Teresa. So let's talk now about the future. So what major trends do you foresee in the future of payments in Europe, and maybe more specifically with the development of innovative uses like instant payment or even wallets? What will be the place of existing tools and above all the place of cash? We see here in France many debates among the population about the role of cash in the uses in payments. What about this consideration in Portugal?
When we talk about the future of payments in Portugal and in Europe, I think it's important to start by recognizing that Europe, and like Portugal, that we have a real success story. Sometimes we tend to focus on the gaps. It's important to acknowledge also the starting point is a good starting point and the result of true cooperation between banks, regulators, legislators, and businesses so far. So the numbers speak for themselves. So 96% of Europeans use digital payments. It's higher than most high-income countries. We also enjoy some of the lowest costs in costs and payments globally. We have very low fraud levels and a market that is very innovative and very fast-moving. Cash is being quickly replaced, but we don't think it will disappear anytime in the near future, actually. At the same time, we have a very resilient and interoperable instant payments infrastructure that connects all Euro countries, and work is also underway with the new IPR regulation to extend this to other European countries, and we believe also cross-currency transactions at some point in the future as well. So account-to-account real-time payments are very well developed across Europe and are very well positioned to keep on developing and being the critical infrastructure for the future, challenging also the cards. So this is a really strong foundation, and looking ahead, I believe the future of payments in Europe will be defined by some key trends. So the first is the user is king, of course, and trust is fundamental in payments. So every innovation will be built around user needs, convenience, and the trust of the user. Second, we're seeing a continued shift towards e-commerce and omni-channel experiences, where consumers expect the same simplicity and trust, whether they're paying online, in store, or in apps. And so any solution and any evolution will have to address this. Third, we're seeing an even stronger move to account-to-account based payments. It's the point that I just made. And so we believe that more and more account-to-account solutions will be the backbone of European payments. Finally, AI, and specifically agentic AI, will also have an impact for sure. So this is something that is very new and still developing, and we still don't know what will the impact. It can be a small step, but it can be also a revolution. And so that's something that will for sure very importantly also impact the future of payments. And finally, we should recognize that competition and cooperation are very much part of the European way. So we have different national, regional champions, cultures, regulations, but we find ways to connect them. And that's what makes Europe so unique. So it's something that we must continue to build upon. It's the good foundations that we have and the potential that we have. So in short, the future of payments in Europe, I would say, is very much about becoming even more interconnected, continue to foster the trust that we have in our European brands, and develop user-centric solutions, keeping distinctive European balance between innovation, between inclusion, and trust.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. It was my last question, so thank you for your participation. And thank you for listening to this MPE Talks episode, part of the MPE 2026 conference happening in March 17-19 in Berlin. See you there. Have a nice day. Bye.